Hello and welcome back to another breakdown video. Today we're continuing the breakdowns of the Friday the 13th series with Friday the 13th Part 2. Originally I was going to do a breakdown every Friday, but I decided now to do 2 a week, one on Tuesday and one on Friday. For now that's the plan, but if something happens or the workload gets too much, I'll probably switch back to just weekly uploads every Friday. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's talk about Friday the 13th, Part 2. Part 2 introduces Jason Voorhees as the main big bad killer, which continues throughout almost every sequel for the rest of the franchise. Friday the 13th Part 2, in my opinion, is an improvement over the first. I find the kills a little more creative and the story a little more fun to watch. It does, however, suffer from similar problems that the first movie has, such as pacing problems and things like that. With all that being said, let's get to the breakdown. The film begins 2 months after the end of the first movie. Some dumb kid is just getting his feet all wet on the street. Hey kid, your socks are probably soaked. Someone's feet steps into frame, but the person isn't fully shown. I wonder who this could be. Spoilers, it's Jason. We meet back up with Alice, the survivor from the first movie, in her apartment just living life. Well, she's actually having nightmares. Her nightmare basically consists of a recap of the end of the first movie, and it's like 5 minutes long. Like, we didn't really need this. Let's just skip through it. Alice, dressed like Gumby, walks around her house and then gets spooked by her cat. Don't worry, Alice, there's nothing to be scared of. Oh, what the hell? Alice finds Pamela's decapitated head in her fridge, and then a person from behind stabs her in the head with an ice pick, killing her. Wow, they killed the main character from the first movie. That's fun. We then cut to 5 years later, and we're introduced to our next group of victims. The first two introduced are Sandra and her boyfriend Jeff. Oh, and Crazy Ralph is back too. Sweet. The two lead us into an introduction into another character, Ted, who looks like a mix between a real-life SpongeBob and a guy who hides a rat on his head under his chef's hat. The three leave together to go be counselors at a new campsite. A bell is being rung and we're introduced to Paul, who's the owner of the new camp, and who's going to be training everyone who's there. He's ringing the bell to gather everyone together for a meeting. We then meet Scott, a pretty boy counselor, who's being a perv and checking out Terry. He uses a slingshot to shoot Terry in the butt cheek with a pebble. Yeah, this guy gets all the girls. We then cut to the meeting and everyone is together now. We meet the rest of the characters. This includes wheelchair-bound Mark and nice girl Vicky. Paul's assistant, Jenny, who's also a child psychologist, pulls up with her beat-up car. Jenny and Paul talk together and it's revealed that they're boyfriend and girlfriend, or something? I don't know. They kiss though. We make it to nighttime and everyone's gathered around a campfire. Paul is telling everyone a scary story, which is just the ending of the first movie basically retold. He adds to the story saying that Jason Voorhees did survive and grew up and still lives in the woods. He says how he kills anyone he comes across in the area as a way to get revenge for his dead mom. Everyone's spooked from the story, and then Ted jumps out with a mask on to give everyone a jump scare. Paul lets everyone know that Jason is dead and that it's just a story he was telling. He also mentions to them not to go to Camp Crystal Lake because it's off limits. Jenny and Paul get some alone time together and it seems as if they're being watched. But it's okay, it's just Crazy Ralph. At least there's still one person left from the first movie. Oh, never mind. This movie hates the survivors from the first one. It's the next day and Sandra really wants to go check out Camp Crystal Lake and convinces Jeff to go with her. While on their way, they find what looks like to be the dead remains of a dog. They get caught by a deputy police officer named Winslow who takes them back to the camp. When they get back, Paul gives them this extreme punishment.
What is this, Jenny?
Yes, Paul.
No seconds on dessert for Jeff and Sandra tonight?
Winslow leaves to go back to the police station when he spots someone running across the street with a bag on their face. This is Jason. Winslow, like a dummy, runs after him and finds an old shack. Nice crib, Jason. Winslow investigates but ends up with a hammer in the back of the head. I mean, you were trespassing. Paul gives all the people a chance to go to a bar for the night, since the next day they're going to start their training to become counselors. A group of the people from the camp do leave and go to the bar, including Ginny and Paul, but a few do stay back at the camp, including Jeff, Sandra, Mark, Vicky, Scott, and Terry. We get to the part of the movie where Jason starts doing some more killing. Terry goes off and decides to skinny dip, and Scott, with another perv move, steals her clothes, making her have to run out naked. Scott teases her by keeping her clothes away and gets caught up into a rope trap and is hung upside down. Scott promises not to mess with Terry anymore if she helps him get down. She leaves Scott alone so she can go get a knife to cut the rope. While she's gone, Jason slits Scott's throat. Jason, dude, that's the wrong side of the machete. Oh well, it still worked. Terry finds a pocket knife and gets scared by the camera person. She finally gets back to Scott and finds him dead, and then gets killed off screen. How lame. Vicky and Mark are together, and Vicky is not holding back when it comes to what she wants to do with Mark.
What do you want to play for?
Position.
They finally end up kissing, and she leaves to go freshen up in another cabin. Since Mark is left alone, this gives Jason the perfect opportunity to slam him in the face with a machete. Then this happens. That was fun. Jeff and Sandra are together getting it on when Jason decides to end their fun. He stabs through both of them with a spear that's obviously fake, killing them both. Vicky comes back to get some action from Mark, but can't find anyone anywhere. She looks for Jeff and Sandra and, well, finds someone hiding under a sheet. Surprise! It's Jason. He pulls a knife and moves literally at a snail speed to stab her. Like, damn, run, Vicky. She doesn't, and she dies. At the bar, Paul and Ginny are talking about the Jason spooky story from earlier, and Ginny introduces the idea that maybe Jason is still alive and saw his mom die, so he has no idea of right or wrong. Paul is like, that's dumb, let's go back to the camp. They leave Ted there to come back later, which, good for him, because he doesn't die. Paul and Ginny arrive back at the camp and all the lights are out, so they decide to investigate. While in the cabin, Jason literally just jumps out and attacks them. Paul fights him off so Ginny has a chance to get away. We then go through a little chase scene between Jason and Ginny, which eventually leads to Ginny finding Jason's shack. She goes in to hide and finds a shrine to Jason's mother's head. Jason is on her trail and tries to get in. Ginny, with her child psychology wisdom, decides to wear the dead mother's sweater to trick Jason that she is actually his mother. This works for some reason, and distracts him long enough for Paul to come in and fight him off. Ginny picks up Jason's machete and, in the same choppy slow-mo from the first movie, runs at Jason and slices right through his shoulder. The two think that Jason's dead and leave back to their cabin. They try to relax but hear something at the door. Paul checks it out and it's just Muffin, Terry's dog that was introduced earlier. The two are relieved and everything seems good. Another happy ending. Oh, nope. Jason jumps through the window for another final jump scare, attacking Ginny. We cut to Ginny being pulled away in an ambulance, asking about Paul. What happened to Paul? Guess we'll never find out. We end the film with a zoom onto Pamela Voorhees' head. Ooh, spooky. Alright, and that was Friday the 13th Part 2. It came out almost exactly a year after the first one, and, in my opinion, is a worthy successor. You never really hear a lot of people talking about this one, other than the fact that Jason doesn't wear his traditional hockey mask, and instead uses a bag to cover his face. I really like this Jason, and he's probably in my top 5 when it comes down to Jason designs overall. Next video we'll be looking at Friday the 13th Part 3, which debuts Jason with his hockey mask, as well as him in 3D. That's fun. I hope you guys enjoyed and make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you guys have any movies you'd like to see me break down, just send them over to my Twitter. I'll have my handle on screen and in the description. Thank you for watching and have a great day.